Spring is definitely in the air at Westbury. But let's go back in time and go over what we've been up to. So having your dishes in your workshop is not exactly the best scenario, but it's what we've been dealing with here for the last, I don't know how long we've been here now, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Ernie hates these vacuums, these shop vacs. But I need to get some shelving in here to start converting this from our makeshift kitchen to the actual workshop and storage that it's supposed to be for all my lawn stuff and all that. So we'll explain as we go, but just going to get started with this and hope that Ernie doesn't attack the door.
So we have about 70 inches by the time you get the first one installed. Look at that.
Star-filled and cold nights led us from winter towards the start of the spring season.
Holy Hannah Montana, she's gorgeous.
Okay, so if you lift that side and I lift this side, can we...
I don't know how we get the back over.
There we go.
Okay. Net weight
308 pounds.
8 pounds. Okay.
Okay, so you gotta go to your end.
We can just leave this one on the dollies, can't
Yeah.
we? Perfect.
I think it'll be just perfect. Looks like it's gonna be tight, but
That's meant to be.
yeah. It wouldn't be spring in the Midwest without a return to snow. Well, 2 of 16. So I'll probably start with the battery here. Well, like everything else, the holder was pretty rusted in there, so it's much more difficult to remove than I was anticipating, but hopefully this is gonna do it and I can get this thing back running because I need to get it moved so that I can get my trailer out of here and we can start getting on with our life. moment of truth here. God bless mechanics, because I could definitely not be one. My dad was a mechanic for like 20 years. No idea how you have that level of patience for working in those tiny spots all the time and rusted bolts, and it is working, so that's good.
The southern wind started moving in, and you could feel the seasons changing little by little. The first piece of furniture made it into the house while the final kitchen finishes were being completed. Some unseasonably warm temperatures led us to the threat of storms. As the rain moved on, the laundry room countertops were being cut to size and soon would be installed.
So one of the bad things is that we don't have any recycling out here, so especially during the build, there's so much construction stuff that comes from that in cardboard boxes. So Kelsey has taken this thing to town probably twice this week already, and here we go again.
Also, Ernie has decided that he wants to go for a car ride no matter what, so he's just sitting in here.
From one moment to the next, you never know what you'll see. I try to keep my camera handy while Ernie started working on his summer tan. More storms moved through the area as lightning put on a fantastic show.
So Ryan asked me what the first thing that was going to be in my canning kitchen as we moved in, and I thought about that for a second, and I thought, well, what's more appropriate in the canning kitchen than some of my canned goods? And beyond that, what's more appropriate on this property than blackberry jelly? So we have our first jar of blackberry jelly, which happens to be the last jar of blackberry jelly until we harvest this year, going into the canning kitchen.
And Kelsey can't reach anything.
We're all surprised.
The days were getting brighter, and the first signs of new spring life began to fill the trees. The butcher block countertop was completed and almost ready for use. And finally, it was time for a favorite meal in our new home.
Apparently I'm breaking every Italian rule, but I'm not Italian, so I don't care.
All right, well, welcome back. I know it has been quite some time here since we've done an update, and we apologize for that, but we always say that things have been crazy, but there's a next level that things can continue to get even crazier than we imagined that they could, and I think that's where we've been for the last 6 weeks or so, probably.
Yeah, I told someone I hope that this level of craziness is just a phase, and it has to be. It has to be a phase. We're finally done with contractors being here on a daily basis. So that 2 weeks, no, even we just had painters here last week. So we are like 5 days away from having painters here to do the final touch-ups. And so it's finally just us living in this house together and getting things done.
Most of you probably know this, but in case you don't, I obviously have a lawn care channel on YouTube. That's where I started, and that's how things have grown to where they are at right now. But once April hits, that's about the time frame here when Kelsey and I have to take over and go back to our regular life, which is that channel, everything that we do with our e-commerce business that runs alongside of that. So in case you didn't know, we are the only people that work for that business. Right. It's me and her. So she does all of our customer service, answering, every question that people have. And if she doesn't know the answer, I am usually the one that answers the rest of those. And then book work and keeping up with all that stuff. And then on the other side, I have to produce all the content. I have to come up with new ideas, new projects, all of that stuff. So once we get to April, we pretty much sign our life away until about November of the year, because that is the time frame when there is no other option. We have to get all of our work done, and we have to make our living pretty much for that part of the year.
Right, and I would say that was one of our points of frustration with this build process. You can hope that things are going to go on the deadlines that you want as much as you want to hope. We, communicated to our trim carpenter that March 15th was our deadline, and it just takes longer. It takes longer than you want it to. It takes longer than it should. Whatever the case may be, here we are. And actually, even there are some things that aren't quite finalized with trim work, but we kind of had to say, line in the sand, we've got to get back to work. Things we have to turn our focus. It's going to take us a while to move in, to get settled, to get things where they are. And I hate that, because that's not the way we wanted to start our year, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah. We had planned on trying to be all moved in at least before that lawn season started, but it just didn't work out. So today what we want to talk about, though, is sort of what's going forward here. We are in this space, in the living space. Yes. We don't have things completed by any means, not even close. But we want to show you a few updated looks at some of the spaces, and then just be honest with you and say when these things are going to get done is probably down the road yet a little bit, for just the amount of work that we have ahead of us for all of our lawn season and all that stuff. And our final type of finish for all these spaces is going to take a lot longer to complete, and that's just the way that it goes.
Right. A few of the things that we're going to share with you today are things that came out the way that we wanted them to. The original intention of why we set out to live in a barndominium has come to fruition, and we're seeing the benefits of that. And that's been really fun. That part of the phase has been really fun.
Yep, and now that we're in the space and able to look out at the amazing view every day that we wake up and we're in our bedroom and look out our windows at night and see all the stars. So there's so many benefits to it that we're finally starting to realize. It's just we wanted to be honest with everyone and let you know. I know there's been a lot of people waiting for updates and things, but this is going to...
There just haven't been a lot. Progress has just been slow.
Yep.
We have a lot of work to do and a lot of really great things coming. It's just going to take time.
Yep. So let's take a look at some of the spaces as they are and show you what they look like.
Isn't she beautiful? This is one of the things that along the way I said I wanted butcher block. I know it's higher maintenance than most other types of countertop, but it turned out exactly the way we wanted to. We have 2 pieces of walnut that came as a 25-inch wide by 12-foot length, and our trim carpenter cut those down for us, got them glued together. Can't see the seam at all. They're beautiful. And this right now is treated just with mineral oil. The process to watch it go from what it was raw and natural to just even that first coat of mineral oil was outstanding. It's possible that maybe we will do a different finish on this in the long run. We're kind of still working through that, but I love it so far. It is something that we've had to do. We've done maybe 6 coats of mineral oil treatment on this. It's turned out great so far. So very happy with this. The island is huge. I love it. The storage space is going to be great. I have 1 drawer organized right now of all of them. So more to come on that. This is something that we saw when we went cabinet shopping the first time and loved it. Our trim carpenter actually created all this by hand, made the corbels, but I look forward to having this just kind of as a little place to add some decoration and pop of color using this shelf. There's also a slight gap up at the top. This is a ductless range hood, and so there's some ventilation up at the top as this air goes through the charcoal filter and gets recirculated back into the room. So that functions very well, and I don't feel like that's an eyesore at all. Love my stove. Everyone meet Ophelia. She has a name because she is a prominent feature in this room. I think she dominates a little bit. So this is a Z-Line 48-inch dual power range. So she has gas burners and electric ovens. And I've found that to be great. They've convection option for the ovens. The burners we have to do a little work on to adjust the flame, and I have to do a little learning because I come from working with an electric stove top only, so going to a gas range has been a learning experience, but I love it so far. We will have a backsplash going. We have reached decision burnout, and so we're going to take a little bit of time to get settled and turn our attention back to that when we have a little bit of mental space for that decision. So there's some changes still coming in the kitchen area. We put butcher block in the laundry room as well, and I have loved having these counter spaces here. Not quite sure how I want to finish these yet. With the blue cabinets, I like them a little bit more raw and natural, and we did a test on this with the mineral oil, and it turns out a little orange, so I have to be careful with that, but still to come a decision on exactly what we're going to do with that. However, I love the way that this look turned out. Also, I love the functionality of the laundry sorting cabinets that I've put in. So I have 2 of these cabinets with 3 laundry baskets each, and I have them pre-sorted, so every morning I can go ahead and just take 1 basket, start a load of laundry. With our septic system, we try to do a little bit of laundry every day instead of how I used to do it where I did all of our loads in one day. And so this helps because I have a basket ready to go at any given time, and then they're just hidden away and everything's pre-sorted. This was one of the features that I was really happy with. We had these doors that we purchased. Our trim carpenter reconfigured them for this space. The finishes aren't done on these, so we have to do that yet. I just haven't quite decided exactly what color stain we want to go with. I think I probably will end up matching these to the shelves that got installed, but I do love this. I think it's such a cool feature. So I feel like we keep talking about things that, oh, we still have to do this, we still have to do this, and that's because we do. My sister asked me a few days ago, do you at least have a space, one space that's finished? The answer to that question is no. The canning kitchen is entirely functional. I do have to move the fridge in, but that's coming very soon. Unfortunately, Our trim carpenter got these stained, but his spray equipment stopped working, and so these still have to be lacquered. But I do want them protected because this is a humid environment, and so I need to finish doing that, and then I have all sorts of things that are going to go up here for function, for decoration. So that'll be really fun to share with you as that comes to fruition. One thing in the canning kitchen that is just my favorite, it has come exactly from my brain on how I wanted it into real life, and that is my canning jar storage. This was a custom built cabinet from a neighbor of my parents that I grew up around, and I think it's beautiful. If you've ever done any canning work, you know how much work goes into it. To see it displayed, to come in here and see all the colors of your food, knowing it's all homegrown and natural. I think it's really cool. I love coming in here, and this is a testament to all the work that's been put in. This is what the butcher block in the kitchen looks like raw. This hasn't been finished yet. I think I'm gonna end up putting a harder seal on this than the mineral oil. This is not a food surface, so this is yet to come on finish, but the difference in what this is to what the kitchen is pretty amazing. These are an absolute godsend. I can't wait to get canning with these. I've used this one in the kitchen a little bit. The nice thing I like is I have an off stove electric canner that I can use, so this will reach over all the way to both sides. It can fill any burner, so that pot filler is going to be really nice. I have my functioning range hood. So this one's ducted out to the porch, so anything that comes through here will get outside. And then we do have some under cabinet work for lighting to do in here as well.
All right, so this is back in the master bathroom. We finally have our vanity lights put up, and those turned out really nice. The shiplap here. We don't have our mirrors put in yet. I've actually figured out in the last few months or so that if you just don't have a mirror, you never know what you're gonna look like, but you just don't care anymore. So we just go out, have no idea what we look like. Maybe I shaved, maybe I didn't, I don't remember. But this right here, this was a custom vanity just for this space, made by the same person that did that one in Kelsey's canning room, and it turned out great. We have our countertop in here, same as the kitchen. Love it, the black fixtures and everything, so we just have to get those mirrors done and do a little more decorating and stuff, but I think this is a really good start in here.
Welcome to my office. I am so glad to be working up here. For the duration of living in the shop, I had my desk set up in the large space, which was great, but a little overwhelming to be surrounded by everything that you own while you're trying to focus on work and all the things that you have to do. My dad built this desk for me, so this moved from our previous house up here, and it's just nice to have things in order. We had our first guests come stay. Ryan's brothers and their families were here. And so this functioned very well as a spare bedroom. We have a hide-a-bed in this couch over here, which is fantastic. Ryan keeps saying I have the best view, and I probably agree. It is beautiful. It is a very nice space to work. All three of our dogs generally come up here and take naps while I'm working, so this is probably going to be one of my favorite spaces in the whole house.
So up to the big studio now. I finally have at least one workstation figured out. So as I mentioned in our last little tour, this is gonna be something where I build some kind of backdrop over here, and it's gonna be the spot where I do some podcast live stream, that type of thing in the future. But right now it's been pretty much my workspace, because we'll move to the control room here in a second and show you. I have some things set up in there, but that's not finished yet. The rest of this is just an open space until I figure out what I want to do with the furniture over here, which we'll also talk about in a second. But this just gives me some options. I have some extra space for filming if I want to do some sort of project that needs some more space. So this is what I call the control room. You can just see here on the outside, I do have these French doors. I love the way that they turned out. And so those can close me into this room sort of, and it is a little more sound isolated in here. This is gonna be the workstation setup, which I said I do not have finished yet. I have a brand new computer and stuff that's been sitting here for at least a month, and I haven't got the time to get that all going. But this was the idea, to have a workstation here and then have a TV up there too. So when eventually, hopefully, I'll be back to recording some audio and some music and stuff in the future, whoever might be in here recording can also see up on here what's going on with the tracks, or if I want to sit at night and just watch some TV while I'm working on my computer or something, I can do that too. But I really think this is going to be an awesome space once I get everything finished. Just like everything else, it's going to take some time to get there.
Even though I really don't like this chair, it's very comfortable.
complains about it and then sits in it and says it's awesome. A couple final things for up here right now. As I said, this is some furniture that was in our basement before. We didn't have anywhere else for it to go, so we brought it up here. My brothers helped me hang my TV, so I pretty much just hang out in this room. It's big enough to be like a loft apartment, really, so if Kelsey doesn't see me or I fall asleep in my chair, she knows exactly probably where I'm at. In the future, I would probably like to do some sort of modular type furniture up here that's more stackable and I can move around easier just in terms of what I might want to do with filming, or if I bring in some people that want to record some music or something, it's easier to move this out of the way. But for now, it works okay. And then over in this corner, we do have the kegerator moved up here, which is an essential thing. I'm gonna have a small bar around this. I had a small one in my basement before that was fit to this, but it was more for a corner. So we're gonna figure out if we can reuse that or if I have to make something for this. But already had one keg in here. My brothers were here for a weekend. And just about a day or so ago, I figured out that the keg is gone. So I wonder how that may have happened, but it's been fun to get this thing back out and use it again. It's nice to just have in the space when there's people over and stuff like that.
We did hard floors everywhere in our home, primarily because we have senior dogs, for a lot of other reasons too. But one of the reasons we did carpet on our stairs is also because we have senior dogs, and I don't want anybody slipping and falling to go up and down. So it is finally time. No more contractors, no more construction work. It's time for the plastic to come off and we can actually enjoy the carpet on our stairs.
Definitely nice. Hi, hi. What do you think? I think he likes it.
I think he likes it.
It is almost that time of year too where Kelsey's gonna be starting her garden. At least we probably should have been doing a few things with that already, but the theme of this video is who has time for all this stuff. But
it'll all get done.
We will get there. We're gonna try to do some content on that, and then we'll see what the summer brings, and as things progress in here, we will do our best show you some updates along the way. But who knows exactly what that time frame is going to be. We just appreciate you having an interest in it and sticking around for all of it.
Yeah, it's been a journey. Thanks for coming along with us so far. We have more to share soon.
We'll see you next time.
Sorry that I disrupted your nap to make you go outside.
It's so bright in here, isn't it?
Will you forgive me?